You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 427 of Podketeers. In this episode, we talk about the change in selecting the panels you want to attend at the D23 Expo this year's Disney Legends honorees, Andrew's experience renewing his Magic Key, and Larry's thoughts on the new offerings. Looks like we might be getting a Big Thunder Mountain movie, and we are here for it. Mel suggests a show that was recently added to Disney+, and we round out the podcast talking about the first episode of She-Hulk. We'd love to hear your thoughts on anything that we talk about in this episode, and you can join the conversation on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Just search for Podketeers, but we'd love for you to join us on our Discord server. Joining the community is super simple. Just head on over to podketeers.com/428 and click on the Discord logo, or you can also click on the link in our pinned IG story. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content like the Podketeers After Show, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. Time to jump into the episode. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We hope that you enjoy the episode and that you come back for more. And of course, if you've been hanging with us for a while now, welcome back, friends. Here is episode 427 of Podketeers. Can you guys hear me? I had to adjust the microphone.
Yeah, baby, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
How's that?
Oh,
I want to make sure
it's
that
so
I'm not
quiet.
spiking.
No, it's so quiet. I can't hear you. It's so quiet.
It's too quiet now?
Oh, this will be
too
okay.
quiet, yeah. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Wait a second. Wait.
This
Whoa,
one's
whoa, whoa,
Dracula.
whoa. Hold up. Are you Elvis or are you Drac?
Blah, blah, blah. I'm Drag Elvis. Oh, baby. Give me a peanut butter and blood sandwich. Oh,
Oh, that
blah,
was
blah, blah.
nice.
I
I don't know what that was.
You know what? Either way, it worked, and I liked it. Now
Well,
you
I'm
have
glad.
a cosplay for Halloween.
There we go.
Or a costume.
Johnny Bravo Dracula, or
So-
Elvis Dracula.
Johnny Bravo dressed as Drac, pretending to be Elvis in Vegas.
There we go. With the
Boom.
big sunglasses and the glitter and everything.
That's right.
Perfect. Yeah, baby.
I don't say ha 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 ha.
And then maybe then I'll be like a little Forrest Gump kid, and he can teach me how to do the leg thing. No,
Nice.
no.
I like
Forrest
it.
Gump? No. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay. Forrest Gump.
We got it. We got you.
He was there. Life is
Yeah.
like Mama said. Life is like a box of
Point
chocolate.
royalties. Oh,
I thought Mama
there's the
said knock you
royalties.
out.
What?
Didn't Mama say knock you out?
Mama said we're gonna knock you out. What? I don't know what's
I'm
going on.
pretty sure that's what Mama said. Or something about there be days like these, Mama said.
Mama said Mama saw my moccasins.
Yes, moccasins. Nailed it.
You win.
Mama said Mama saw my moccasins.
Oh, that's a good one. What were we talking about today? I feel like
literally nothing. I have
We
no
got
idea.
off to like a silly start like we normally do, but normally we have a cool transition plan where we could be like, all right, cool, we're talking about this, and then boom, easily it jumps into this. And I feel like we got so sidetracked by peanut butter and nana sandwiches with blood on top or something that now we're like all over the place.
It is all over the place. But you know what? Sometimes you just need to be like loosey-goosey, baby.
Yeah.
Loosey-goosey.
Go with the flow.
Now, in my head, almost everything you say throughout the night, I'm going to hear it in an Elvis impersonation.
Oh, loosey-goosey, baby. That's from School of Rock. That's not Elvis, but that's okay.
It adapts. Hey.
I can do the whole thing as Elvis. I don't think it'd be, people would like listening to that, but I could.
Yeah, I wouldn't put you
Never
through
know.
that anyway, but...
Okay, so She-Hulk, and she was like, oh, mama. I don't know.
You're going to border, like, really close to Rodney Dangerfield the more that you do it.
Yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
like slip out of it like, I say, I
Losing
get no
to a
respect,
rug.
no respect. Oh.
Well
she
done.
doesn't get no respect. Yeah, we'll talk
No
about that
respect.
later. Hey, I'm excited because I know you know that I've been working on getting my setup here ready to go to stream some Disney Dreamlight Valley and stuff like that when it comes out in a couple of weeks. And I've been keeping up with all the releases and everything. I saw them put together like a character, and I've seen a little bit of the behind the scenes of it. And I'm excited. Like, I know it's like a simple game. You know, that's what we felt about Animal Crossing too, right? It's like a simple
Yep.
game. I know it's not for everyone, but damn it, it's got Disney characters and it looks super fun, and I can't wait to play.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I will pay to get this because I want to play too. It's fun. And if you guys know, I'm on Animal Crossing every day. So, yeah, I could see myself playing this. And let's see how long I last on this game. And if I'll put as many hours.
Who knows? Maybe it'll take over your Animal Crossing. You're like, oh,
Right?
I forgot to go to the Nook stop or whatever.
Timothy and Jimothy are going to be angry.
Tom Nook's going to evict you.
Are you kidding? We do everything for that Tom Nook guy. He's not doing anything. Lazy guy. I know what you mean, though. It seems all fun and games till you realize how much time you have to invest into these games in order to really get the most out of them. And I feel like with Animal Crossing, there wasn't as much stuff going on as I have going on now, right? Especially at work, I have so much more things going on that I haven't played Animal Crossing in a really long time. Granted, I have invested some time in playing Fortnite because, you know how we said that we were going to get together to play? I've been trying to learn how to play and learning the ins and outs of playing, and I've gotten the, what's it called? Battle Royale? No, it's not called Battle Royale. What's when you
The
get
Battle Pass?
first place? No, when you get first place.
A trophy.
Something victory. Royal victory?
I forgot what it's called.
We'll
point
figure it
is-
out.
First place. You did it. Good job. Gold star.
Victory Royale, that's what it's called.
Ah.
Ooh, that came faster than I thought it was going to. Yay me.
Yay.
So we've had the opportunity to play. We've gotten Victory Royale a couple of times. I've been playing with my boys, and I have to admit that it's way more fun than I thought it was.
Nice.
And I can understand why people get angry when they're playing the game, because you invest so much time in not getting eliminated and making it to the end that when you're so close and you're like eliminated and you were like the second or third one left, whoo, let me tell you. So yeah, I've been playing that. We've been playing Fall Guys a lot, and I've been enjoying just kind of passing the time with Fall Guys, especially considering that you don't have to think a lot, which is what I love so much about Animal Crossing, that it was just kind of like, you just kind of
Easy peasy.
are. Yeah, like there
Yeah.
isn't a lot like to do. It's really easy tasks, and you feel like you've accomplished a bunch of stuff, which is super cool. But yeah, Disney Dreamlight Valley, I don't know a lot about what the mechanics are going to be like and how difficult it's going to be to advance in the game, but I'm excited to play, looking forward to the game. We're a couple weeks away at this point. I believe it's going to launch like right before the expo. And it's funny because I noticed something about the expo this year that at least the panel that they're doing for, I believe, Marvel or the video game panel or something, they're going to be streaming it live from the expo the way that they stream panels for the Star Wars Celebration a couple of months ago. And I don't know if it's just that particular panel that they're going to be streaming, or if there's going to be a wide variety of them that are going to be streaming. But if more of them happen to stream, that's great, because, you know, Gavin, Mel, and I were talking about them doing that like a year and a half ago. So that's awesome. It's like right on, D23. Way to get on that. And if it's just a single one, damn it, D23, how dare you not stream more of them?
Exactly. I mean, especially like the big ones, like the Legends and everything. Like, why is that not streamed? Like, it's the Legends. It's not like there's new releases or anything coming out. It's just like, okay, here you go. Here's the award. Da 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 da. Here's a celebrity. Stream it so that everybody else that's in the expo waiting for their panel can, if they're not in there, at least see what's going on.
Yeah. With the D23 Expo this year, I know I've talked about it on here that I'm still not exactly sure what I'm going to do about it. I bought a ticket. We have 3-day passes, but I still don't know if I'm up for going and dealing with the crowds and just being there, especially considering the way that they're handing out admission to the panels this year. I don't you had an opportunity to do this, right, Andrew?
I sure did.
Do you want to talk about the experience?
Yeah, sure. It was, I found out about it through Instagram, because that's how you find out about everything, as opposed to getting emailed from D23.
That's right.
I heard about it first on Instagram. Somebody's like, hey, reservations go online, today. It was 2 Thursdays ago or something like that. And so I jumped on, and it was the same little queue we're used to, with the little running man and the little bar going across. And it, I logged in. I think it was, I'm trying to think how long it took me to get in there. I think it was basically all day, or most of the day, 5-6 hours at least, to get in there, to be able to pick things. And the way it's set up is you don't pick what you want to do, what you're I want this. You pick your preference. So you say, here's my top 4 or top 2 or whatever, my top ones in order from most preferred to least preferred that I would like to do on such and such day. And it's broken down per stage or per section. So there's the D23 stage, and then the talent this, and the blah, 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 and the signings and things like that.
Stage pass and that other stuff.
Stage pass, yeah. So you'd pick your top 4, or the main stage was there's 2. So you could pick both of them, just which one you prefer. And we haven't got confirmation yet on what people have gotten. I know they extended the window. It was originally ending on a Friday or whatever it was, and they extended it to a Sunday. That has passed by now. This was last Sunday. But yeah, you pick your preference on what you would like to do. Not I'm reserving this, and if it's full, you don't get it. It's here's my number 1. If it's full, then I'm assuming number 2. If it's full, number 3. I don't know if you only get one of those per day, or if you will be able to get multiple. It's not very clear. But yeah, it's a different sort of, I guess, lottery basically, but a lottery where you may get at least something you want. It's interesting to see, because it's a different way they're doing it. So we'll have to see how it plays out at this expo for sure.
So I was one of the people that decided to select everything on Sunday, because I'm still up in the air about going. And the only reason that I selected everything is because when we looked into it, you can't get a refund for the tickets, for the passes, 0. You could be on your deathbed and they would be like, sorry. And so at that point, I thought, well, that's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know even how to take that, as a guest of the Disney parks and of the Disney experience, the fact that they don't give you a way out, in knowing that we're still that we're coming out of a pandemic, but we're still dealing with it, right? And there are people that are still trying to be careful. I am one of those people. And so the fact that they don't give you an easy way to get a refund, or to say, hey, I don't feel well enough to be there, sorry, I get it. Maybe it's because they feel like they're going to be losing out on the spot because they can't sell it to anybody. But I would have been willing to sell it to somebody. If it's not, Disney selling it, who cares? They're still going to have a body at the expo. They're still going to have someone there representing the ticket that was purchased. You're not sharing it with anybody. But, I know that you and Larry Mel tried to get passes, and they were sold out. Right? So I would have loved to have been like, hey, I'm not feeling well. Mel, take my Friday. Larry, take my Saturday, and enjoy the expo. Right?
Right.
And the fact that Disney's not even giving you the opportunity to do that kind of sucks, to be honest.
It does.
Because if I do get to that point where I don't feel well enough, that means they're just going to go to waste. And they're not inexpensive either. It's not like a $50, $60 ticket that you're giving up if you decide not to go. So
that and potential of buying more stuff. So
oh, absolutely.
yeah,
Like, I've never gone to an expo where I don't spend another $400 or $500 on stuff.
easily.
Yeah, just have to know that their mindset, what I'm pretty sure is, and I'm sure a lot of these other conventions, Comic-Con and stuff like that, are similar, is the scalpers that you have
Secondary market.
Secondary market. That's they're scalpers. They're people, we know it with all the merchandise and everything too.
Yeah.
People buy a bunch, it prevents people, if they know I can't transfer this to anybody else, then there's goes the scalpers, there goes the secondary sellers, because they'll just mark it up 5,000-6,000. And it sucks that there's not like some sort of way around it, but all those people would for sure take advantage of that if there was some system in play. Be like, okay, I bought 20 of these and I couldn't sell 8 of them, so I'm gonna say, oh, I bought for my family of 8 and they all died, or not to make light of it or whatever, but it is very extreme. But whatever it takes to get the money back at that point. But I'm sure that's probably the mindset they're in, and it's it's stinky that they couldn't be like, okay, well, here you can use this credit towards the following expo or whatever, or something like that. But that I'm assuming is what they're trying to do is prevent the resellers and stuff like that. It's just like your annual pass too. It's like there's no canceling it. You can't transfer it to another person. Da 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 da. It's all in the concert tickets. It's all the same thing, and it gets annoying. But I can see. I don't think it's any different than any of the other expos that are out there. I mean, I've never been to Comic-Con, but I would assume that Comic-Con is also a similar situation.
Yeah, if not worse, because they wait like forever to get their tickets.
You see, and that's where it gets difficult for me, right? Because right now, Disney is in this really odd position where they seem to be at odds with their guests because of ticket prices and Magic Key prices and the experience in the parks and the experience, all around basically, right? So I feel like when it comes to transferring tickets, yeah, you're right, Andrew. It's very similar to the experience of other cons and concerts and stuff like that you deal with. But if Disney wanted to figure this out, they could, right? It's a broker system where you put a limit on how many you can purchase. Like, you can't purchase more than, let's say, 4 or 5 at a time, because that's a common family, right? Like 4 to 5, or average, I would say. I don't know. And of those, you can transfer, let's say, 2 or 3 of them. Or you can get a refund for up to 1 of them if something happens. So you don't completely lose out. Or you get like 80% of the value back if something happens and you can't go back, so that they don't lose all the money or whatever. Like, Disney could figure this out. They just don't want to, because they'd rather keep my $400 than, accommodate the fact that I may or may not be able to go.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah, it's like, we got your money.
Yeah. So I know it sounds like I'm complaining here. This is a me problem. I just want to acknowledge that.
It's probably not just
understand.
a you problem. There's probably plenty of people that are in the same situation
or
you
have
are.
been.
Yeah, or have been. It's definitely not just a Heyzen problem, but it's a Heyzen problem and not an Andrew problem. That's
right. And in this situation, it's a totally me problem, right? But I get it. I know I'm not the only one going through something like this. But so anyway, back to what started all of this. I did decide to get the panels that I wanted, but I did it on a Sunday. So I don't know what's going to happen if I did decide to go, given the fact that it's this weird lottery system now. For me, I've said this many times before, that when it comes to the expo, the only panel that really ever matters to me is the Legends panel. Anything else that I get to go to is absolute cake for me. This year, there's plenty of things that I want to see, but the idea of standing around and waiting, and I've told you, like, I've just developed this hell no, like, I don't want to stand in line to do things anymore. That's why if I could pay the $20 to get through the line at the expo, there you go, Disney. There's another way to get $20.
That's that Sorcerer's Pass
that is.
that they had. That they didn't have that this year, I don't think. The year
I don't think they did.
Yeah, I was like, well, remember it was like $1,200 or something. We're like, whatever one you want.
Easy.
Yeah.
They were like, there's like 9 of them. They all sold out immediately.
So I don't remember what I selected, to be honest with you. I jumped around. The only one I really know was the Legends panel because it's the only one I really wanted. Did we get an email confirming what it was? Because if we did, I can read to you.
You just got an email confirming. Yeah, I know there's like, here are your selections, so there might have been.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Yeah, and I know it. According to the website, it didn't matter what day you signed up. You could change all of your stuff up until the last minute, and then everything was submitted all at once. So, no, like if you signed up on a Sunday, that doesn't put you in any better or worse standing than somebody that signed up on that Tuesday or whatever it was. So it's kind of nice, everybody submitted and put it into a lottery together, and it's, probably as most fair as it can be. And we don't know, is there going to be standby line for these 2? How is this going to work? So we're still waiting to see, every expo, something's different.
Yeah.
There's not at one expo that anything has been the same.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Of all the stuff that I selected, if I get the opportunity to go, if I'm feeling okay, and if I go to the expo and they say, okay, well, these are your selections, and they were anything that I actually wanted, then great. I guess I'll be in that panel. But if there's a standby line because I didn't get what I wanted, I guess I'm not going to that panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I'm just I don't like standing in lines anymore. I can't do it. I'm
gonna get you a bubble, Heyzen. I'm gonna get you like a hamster bubble.
I love the
hamster
bubble. I get
exercise.
Everybody
get a hamster bubble.
I get exercise.
I think we should all get them.
That would be
and
fun.
I look
movie
like
Bubble Boy.
Galinda with
I
a
watched
G.
that.
You know what? We'll all go cosplay as that. What was that? G-Force. Remember that
with
movie?
the hamsters?
With the hamsters. I'm sure. Well, I'll be hamsters in hamster wheels, and then we'll also be safe.
I love you guys.
2-factor authentication.
Or we could just go as boulders and just run everybody over.
There
We
go.
could. We could do that.
We might have to sit in the back part of the panels, when that comes to happen. But
You know
if
what,
we can
though?
fit through the door.
On the plus side, if you're in the bubble, you can sway from side to side. Sometimes when I'm sitting down, I get restless leg if I'm sitting for too long.
Yeah.
So now you can just kind of sway from side to side in one of the
I
bubbles.
saw a video of a guy and he filled one of those halfway with water and then was swimming around in it and rolling around. It was crazy.
Wait, how do you do that? They have a hole in them.
Well, it was like one that zipped up or whatever. It was it wasn't like the spongy ones. It was you inflate it. It was weird. I'll have
How
to
did
find
he
the
not
video.
run out of oxygen?
Water's got oxygen in it. I don't know. I don't make.
All I could think of is just being sweaty in that water. No, thank you.
Rebreather.
I didn't
I don't
think
know.
about that. Gross.
Humid.
Let's go
like,
back to
no.
sweaty D23. I mean, D23. Okay, so I found the email with the stuff that I selected. So
Okay.
I did select a lot of the giveaway experiences so that
Pixar Ball 1, Pixar Ball 2,
Yes.
Pixar Ball 3,
I
Pixar Ball
selected
5.
as many as possible so that I could hopefully collect extra to give away to people.
Mhm.
So for Friday, I have Walt Disney Animation Studios 100 Years Pennant. That's the plus
Have
a
that
special
one, too.
item. The
Those are
Pixar
fun.
sunglasses and 2 for the Pixar ball. When it comes to Stage Pass, I selected the Disney and Marvel Games Showcase, which is the one that's getting streamed live, by the way. Walt's plane taking flight through Disney history. That's just, I think, a walkthrough of the plane.
I signed up for that one too.
So the Legends Award Ceremony, and then the Studio Showcase, Celebrate the Magic of Disney and Pixar. That's Friday. What did you get for Friday?
Friday, giveaway. The same. Stage Pass, inside look at the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. Who is honored with a window on Main Street, USA? Walt's Plane, and ABC's Home Economics. And then Stage Pass, I picked both Legends and a Studio Showcase.
So the SEA one, I really wanted to get that one, but if I happen to get the Legend Ceremony one, they're happening at the same time.
Oh, are
They
they?
overlap. So I didn't want to select it to give them the opportunity to not give it to me and to give me the SEA
I didn't
one.
look at. I didn't even look at any of the times. I just
Yeah.
kind of like bloop, 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 bloop,
Yeah,
bloop.
I made sure that nothing that I selected overlapped to give me a better opportunity of actually getting what I wanted. At least that's what I'm
Well,
hoping.
you see, I didn't do that, so we'll see what happens.
All right,
But that's
so
okay.
Saturday, for the show floor, again, same thing. The studio pennant, Pixar ball, Pixar poster, Pixar ball. And then for
Mhm.
Stage Pass, a celebration of Disney Animation's Encanto, Marvel Comics celebrating 60 years of Spidey, uncovering treasures from the Marty Sklar collection, cautionary tales with Disney villains. And then for Hall D23, Studio Showcase Day 2, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, and 20th Century Fox. And then Disney's Epic Entertainment Showcase, the musical extravaganza. And I can't read the rest of it. I forgot what the rest of it is called.
That's it. The extravaganza is the last word. So mine is similar show floor. My peek stage passes peek behind the curtain at Walt Disney Imagineering's Illusion and the Special Effects Development Lab. It's a small world. It's a small Disney world setting celebrating the art of Disney parks, magic in the air, 30 years of the Muppets Christmas Carol, and celebration of Disney animations Encanto. And then mine were flipped for yours. My number one was the Disney Epic Entertainment Showcase, the musical, the extravaganza. And then also the studio showcase. So
Nice.
those are mine for Saturday. It's a fun lineup. It's interesting to like how you picked more based on time. I just kind of like picked because I was not paying attention to the time. So we shall see what we end up with.
What'd you get for Sunday?
Sunday, a bunch giveaway. Oh, we signed up for the Encanto filmmakers signing. That's something Tina wanted to do. I don't know what we have to buy to get the signing, but it'll be fun, I think. And then Stage Pass, Conversations with Disney Character Voices. I really loved that one when we did the Character Voices one a couple years ago.
That was fun.
Walt Disney Imagineering, 70 years of making the impossible possible, 100 years of treasure from the Walt Disney Animation Research Library, and the Disney Parks through the decades, a Disney Ambassador Perspective, and then the two, Hall D23, the Disney Parks and Experiences, and then Disney Princess, the concert live at D23.
Ooh.
All right. So for show floor, again, pennant, sunglasses, Pixar ball. Stage Pass was the Imagineering 70 years of making the impossible possible. Disney Parks through the decades, the Disney Ambassador Perspective, and then Memories of Walt Disney World, framing a portrait of 50 magical years. And then Hall D23, A Boundless Future, Disney Parks Experience and Products, and Disney Princess, the concert live at D23.
There we go. Some overlap.
Yeah. So I selected everything because, again, if I didn't select anything, then I would be left with nothing if I chose to go.
Correct.
So I chose something in the event that I do go. And I want to make it clear that I've pulled out of stuff last minute that I've paid money for over the last 2 years because I was just like, I just don't feel good. Like, I can't
It's called
go.
a magic key.
Well, that's a whole other story. If we're back to the magic key, so far, people complain about spending $120 on a day at Disney. So far, my days have been almost $600. So
Exactly.
there you go. But yeah, I'm still up in the air. I decided to select things just in case I do go. And if I don't go, then I'll stream what I can. And I know that more than likely there's going to be 20 videos of the panels and stuff available for me to watch on YouTube by the end of the day. So,
Exactly.
I mean, I'm hoping I feel okay. I'm hoping that I can go. I love the
Yeah.
expo.
Me too.
I love the experience. I love the panels.
I think you can hang out with me.
And I'll get to hang out with you, which is awesome. Since I
Yeah,
rarely get a
awesome.
chance to hang out with you.
Yeah, I got costumes coming out the wazoo.
Nice. Oh man, I'm so out of shape right now. Like, a lot of my exercise came from walking around in the parks. I'm not kidding.
Mhm.
Like, people make fun of me, but every time we went to Disneyland, even if we didn't get on any attractions, you could have a Fitbit, you could have any type of tracking system. You walked at least 3 to 5 miles being in the park
Oh,
every
yeah.
time that you went. Easy.
Well, just like getting from like your car to the gate, even if when there is a tram, like it's still like
Oh,
a
yeah.
trek. It's not even like just a short walk, and then it's like, okay, down Main Street. Okay, what do I want to do? Sit here. All right,
Right.
sitting over. Yeah, I want to sit in Galaxy's Edge. Okay, there's another
That's
half a
another-
mile to get to like.
Exactly. Call it what you will, but I want to say like 85% of my exercise came from going to the parks.
Yeah.
And so not being able to go to the parks and not feeling well, I did a lot of sitting over the last couple of years and a lot of laying, a lot of fetal position. And, when you walk around for the first time again, or you do any type of activity that's more than just walking around your house, walking around cleaning or doing yard work or whatever, you get winded.
yeah.
And so I need to be better about that. I have to start walking a little bit more. That's just a me thing now. I gotta be better about it. But how much do we have? 3 weeks? What is it, Andrew? 3 weeks?
2.5.
Oh, jeez. So I got 2.5 weeks to try to feel as best as I can to hopefully be able to go to this thing. And in that time frame, I also have to do a good 15, 20 minutes of walking every day to start building up, some of that endurance again. Because if I don't, it doesn't matter what I get access to or what panels. I'm going to tap after the first hour or two that I'm there. I'm just going to go back to the car and sleep.
For real.
Where's the D23 re-energizing pods?
Right?
The napping pods.
Where's the
Where
D23
they just-
napping bubble?
Yeah, where they just stream the panels into the pod. I would be fine with that.
Dude.
That would be good. Ooh,
So-
I'd pay.
Right?
Right?
So since we're mentioning it, since I mentioned the Legend ceremony, here's the inductees for this year. Anthony Anderson.
Nice.
You know him from such shows as Blackish, and he's been on Law and
Kangaroo
Order.
Jack.
Was he in Kangaroo Jack? I never saw
I'm
that
pretty sure he
movie.
wasn't. He's in Kangaroo Jack. It was him and somebody else. I'm pretty sure it's Anthony Anderson. I'll look it up. But I'm
Oh,
pretty sure it was him.
I
Hang
never
time.
saw that.
That's a great callback.
Interesting.
Yes. Okay, I was right.
Okay.
Kangaroo Jack. Anthony
Kangaroo Jack,
Anderson.
yes.
Everybody's favorite movie.
Kristen Bell.
Yes.
Aw.
Kristen Bell is
Yeah.
getting
Alright.
a Disney Legend Award.
What a weird order that this is in this list.
Well, I'm reading it off the D23
Maybe
site.
it's
Alphabetical.
alphabetical. Oh, maybe
It's
it's
alphabetical.
alphabetical. It's
By last
alphabetical. We
name.
get Anderson, Bell. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I thought they were going to group them by group, so never mind. Continue.
But I'm going to skip this one because I'm going to go right into Rob Coltrane. He's a Walt Disney Imagineer, responsible
Nice.
for helping out with such things as Mickey's PhilharMagic, Muppet 3D Vision, Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin, Radiator Springs Racers. So a lot of amazing
Way
attractions.
awesome.
Good job. Cool guy.
Patrick Dempsey, most people know him as McDreamy.
Dreamy.
Dreamy.
Is he Dreamy?
McDreamy.
He wasn't Steamy, right? The other guy was
George,
Steamy, right?
George Clooney.
Okay, so he McDreamy on Grey's Anatomy, and then Robert Price Foster. He worked in Disney's legal department. Olaf himself, Josh
Cool.
Gad, is also becoming a Disney legend. Jonathan Groff.
I see a
Many
theme.
memorable performances. Broadway's A Spring Awakening. He's been in the Lego Disney
Pitch
Frozen,
Perfect?
Northern Lights.
I don't
He's
know.
been-
Hamilton.
was he in Pitch Perfect? Yeah.
Yeah, he was Hamilton.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know. But yeah.
One that I feel has been long overdue. Don Hahn is finally getting
Yes.
awarded a Disney Legend Award. Doris Hardoon, another Walt Disney Imagineer that's worked in Epcot, Tokyo Disney,
wow.
Disney's Animal Kingdom. A lot of amazing accomplishments there. To round out the Frozen group here, we have Idina Menzel.
Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem, yes. Which I have to admit, I thought she already had a Legends Award, but I guess I was wrong on this one.
I mean, you would have thought.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Chris Montan, he was the vice president of music for motion pictures and TV. So he's overseen a lot of best-selling soundtracks like Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. Live stuff, he's done Pretty Woman, Sister Act, all sorts of
Nice.
stuff. Rounding out Grey's Anatomy, McSteamy's wife? what? I don't know. Ellen
She's
Pompeo.
She is Dr. Gray. She's the star of the show, Ellen Pompeo.
Okay, cool. So Gray,
Dr. Meredith Gray.
Dr. Meredith.
Yep.
I don't watch the show. I don't.
Okay.
know,
We're learning.
so-
I kind of sort of watch it.
Okay.
But Tina watches it, and I kind of also watch it. So she's the main character of the whole show. She's been on it all the seasons.
Good to
Patrick
know.
Dempsey was killed off 10 years ago or something.
Was
like that.
he really?
Long time ago.
Was he? Oh, well,
Yeah,
I
dead.
need to get out on this. I'm gonna have to stream it or something so that I know what's happening because I had no idea. So-
Yeah. There's just doctors, and there's doctors. Just imagine that those people are doctors, and any other doctor show you ever watched, it's the same thing.
Is there
Yeah.
a feisty janitor that tends to get them into quarrels?
Sometimes, I don't know. Usually, it's other doctors.
Or is that
It's
just
not-
Scrubs?
I guess it's not Scrubs. Yes, it's not Scrubs. Any other doctor show you've ever watched?
I like that
Like
doctor show.
House,
House. Yeah.
ER,
I never
Chicago
watched ER
Med,
either.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I never watched
Ambulance.
ER either.
It's
It's pronounced ambulance.
pronounced ambulance. That movie where it's like ambulance with the LA.
Yeah, so Ellen Pompeo, Tracy Ellis Ross, most
Ah.
recently on Blackish. She's also
With
been on
Anthony
Private
Anderson.
Practice. Yeah, with Anthony Anderson.
Daughter of Diana Ross.
Yep.
Is she the daughter of Diana Ross?
Yes.
Right on. I had no idea. I just learned something.
pretty
Next
cool.
on Quizneyland.
Right.
All right, apparently we're doing a Grey's Anatomy episode of Disneyland.
So, I mean, that rounds out all of the inductees for this year's Disney Legend ceremony. And of course,
Wait,
I
pause
think-
really quick.
I
What was the one
think-
that you skipped?
that's what I'm getting to right now.
Oh,
so-
okay. Sorry.
The headliner, I believe, of the entire Legend ceremony, Chadwick Boseman. Black Panther
Oh.
getting awarded a Disney Legend Award this year. I don't think I need to tell you what he was in. He's been in a lot of stuff, but most notably, he was the King of Wakanda. And so it's going to be, I believe, a very, very emotional Legend ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
So if I get a chance to watch it, awesome. If I don't and I have to watch it online or they have a stream, I think it'll still be okay. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting expo. I'll keep you all posted, obviously, on how things go, whether or not I go. And, I'll talk about my experience if I do end up going. But, we'll see. We got 2.5 weeks, and I got 2.5 weeks to get up and start walking around and build some conditioning so that I don't pass out from walking 10 feet.
Yeah, you just walk to this curb, and then you walk, to the end of the block, and then you walk 2 blocks, and then you keep going and going and going.
Does
That's
the
how it
fridge
works.
count for a sandwich?
Well, that's where you start. You start from the chair to the fridge, and then from the chair to the front door, to the front door to the curb.
Little
and
steps.
From the
Little steps, right?
little steps every day.
Right on.
Right.
Hey, since we're talking about passes, I want to ask you a quick question. You recently went through the process of renewing your Magic Key, right?
Sure did.
With everything that was going on, what was the experience like renewing your Magic Key?
Once I got in there, it was, fairly straightforward. I forgot that it was the day, and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably do that. So I logged into the renew, thing like 11 o'clock, and I finally got in. I just did it on my phone and then went about my day. Checked it every couple hours. I finally got in about 5:45 p.m. And was able to renew the pass. Now, a couple of tips for anybody that plans on renewing. When you go in there, make sure that any passes that may be your friend's passes,
Oh no.
select do not renew at this time if you do not plan on paying for all of your friends to renew their passes.
What?
Because I was like, okay, and I scrolled down the bottom and it was like $865, and I was like, oh, I was renewing Melissa and
Oh my
Jill and
gosh.
Albert and Larry, like everybody
That's
that was in there.
scary.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple. It's not like automatically like you click it and then it pays. You have to put in your card information and da-da-da-da-da. There's a couple steps, but there is options. A little drop-down menu. It says like renew. Do not renew at this time. So if you've got your friends and your Disney account, make sure you don't renew their pass unless you want a monthly payment to pay for their
Unless
passes.
you want to be the
so,
nicest friend
yeah,
ever.
but Melissa and Jill and a bunch of people might have had a pass that they weren't expecting to have renewed.
Merry
But
Christmas.
other than that,
Woo.
Merry Christmas for the rest of your life.
That's good.
But for sure, it wasn't too bad. Once you got in there, it was your typical setup. I was able to choose, drop down menu. Since I had the highest pass, I was able to choose Inspire or, Wish, Believe, Magic, Dream, Happy, whatever they are, whatever I wanted. Happy, Dopey, Grumpy, Bashful Pass. No, those are the Walt Disney World passes that are have the silly, yeah. But anyway, so it was fairly straightforward to go through. I don't know, if I had a lower pass, if I would be able to upgrade to a higher pass. I don't know that because I had the highest pass, so I was able to downgrade for sure. But upgrading, because I had the highest one, I had all the options. But other than that, it was the same you're used to, do your monthly payment, agree to, sign your life away and make sure you make those monthly payments and out
No
the door.
lawsuits.
Yeah.
This time when
You
you
have to
renewed, did
also-
they ask
yeah.
for your first child?
They asked for yes, my firstborn, of 2 vials of my blood,
Oh, that's new.
3 chickens, a goat, and
And a goat.
and a goat. Yeah, it was
Damn.
Any
ridiculous.
retirement benefits you might
Yeah,
have.
and 2% of my 401k. So that was jokes on them. I don't have one, so.
Oh.
But yeah, other than that, there's a couple things that I was doing on my phone, so I don't know if it was just me being weird on my phone or if it was weird stuff, phone stuff. But you have to make sure, like at the end, you're like, all right, you have to read this thing, and then you read the agreement, and then you click the checkbox at the end of that, and then it takes you back, and then you click another checkbox, and then you click another checkbox, and then you hit submit. And if you forgot to do any of those checkboxes, then it leaves some of your information in, but not all of them, and then you have to go and make sure you do that other checkbox again. So I had to submit 3 different times because I was missing one of the checkboxes.
That's
I was like,
horrible.
oh no, I'm gonna run out of time. I only have 10 minutes. What am I gonna do? But that was fine, and yeah, so it was pretty easy going through there. It did take almost 8 hours to or
Get in.
6-7 hours to get in there, but like I said, I just put it on my phone in my browser and just left it there and went about my day.
Nice.
Because it doesn't give you a breakdown of time other than more than an hour. It just says more than an hour until it gets less than an hour. So more than an hour was 6 more hours.
But then they had that cute little chime to tell you were next, right?
I have no idea. I have the sound off.
Oh.
You can look at that You can look at that running man.
Yeah.
He's just running in place, getting his exercise in for D23.
He's doing much better than I am at this point. That dude was running.
He was running
all
for
day,
6 hours. Yeah.
all day long. So Larry, I have to ask you. I know that when we talked about the news, we had breaking news and the Podketeers news chopper.
Oh yeah, the chopper came in even.
Yeah.
Heard it. That's good budget. Must have got that approved.
When we had this next time on Podketeers Heart to Heart, we kind of talked about how we felt. Where do you stand on all of this? There's definitely a lot of changes from where we last were from 2018 when, we were still on annual passes before everything kind of went upside down. Where do you stand right now on the renewal with your Magic Key and just overall with the program?
Well, first off, appreciate the breakdown you guys did in the middle of that episode. That helped a bit to kind of digest the information, how it came out, because everybody was on kind of like pins and needles. But for me, it's funny. Today, I was just speaking with someone at my work, and I had the Legacy pass holder magnet on my on one of my desks. And they said, "What's a Legacy pass holder?" They had no idea. They see all the Disney stuff, and they saw that. They just looked right at it, and I just thought it was funny. Because I go, yeah, I think I really am now a Legacy pass holder. Because I don't think anything now offered is truly a pass. That's where I'm at with it. Because it's even the Inspire key now has a blackout. I think that's a big change. I don't know necessarily how much is going to deter people. That's not necessarily what I'm thinking, but it's not really a pass anymore. It is a key that has a reservation system that unlocks only if you set it all right in the certain order to get you in the park, right? And it all has to work, which does create more hesitancy. For myself, I'm going to definitely go back in and go with, just like Andrew, go with the pass, because I know I went so much last year. As you guys mentioned too, like I went a bit. I was able to utilize the system because it's just me and my wife, or sometimes it was just me going, living out here. So I'll be in it. I just don't feel like it's an annual pass anymore. I feel like I'm buying, like you guys broke it down, a ticket that you have to find what value works for you, including parking, including the idea of how many times you're going to go, the breakdown, the price. Is it going to make sense to you? So I think that's kind of the sad thing looking at my magnets. It just happened today, and I thought it was irony because we were coming on here. I was like, yeah, I really don't think a pass is as existence anymore. I think now we're just paying for a ticket and how many times you think you can go and be able to go and really use the reservation system. I'm on the side of the public. What I'm wondering what's going to happen is, I think with the price increase, I think you're going to start seeing people get priced out. I know they put the warning flags out of like putting people in fear of, you might not be able to, seeing that they're not letting anyone buy them from the outside. It's only renewals. They're making us now feel uncomfortable saying some tiers might not be available. I'm kind of wondering how many people are going to take advantage of the Inspire key. I kind of feel like we've hit it. This is that window, because so many people, including you, Heyzen, mentioned in the past when we're on here, the Christmas time is like key. The key time when you get the best pass. That's like, this is my value. Like, even if you were just looking at it as like sentimental value, you think as long as I could go for Christmas, that makes that big pass worth it. And for me, before pandemic times, I had already picked the lower, less plus pass before signature back then. So I had gotten used to not going during Christmas, but now you're making the highest tier non-Christmas time, which I think some people are going to look at it and be like, I'd rather do the events in the year. They offer these events, these special one-offs that you could, if you just get in the right time, you can pay for it. And guess what? It's just like making a reservation. You don't have to worry about it. You've got your reservation. You're set. That's the day you're going. It's just a lot more easier to plan around than getting a pass, and then you have to figure out a time to go for Christmas when family comes. So that's where I'm at with it. But like I said, I'll be inspiring pretty soon.
I'm interested to see. It'll be, depending on when people started going, how many people were like Heyzen and didn't go till March, and how many people were like Larry or us who went like in September after the pass, getting it. How that Christmas season will be like how busy it will be. Like they're like, oh, this is the busiest time and da 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 da. But is it? Is it? They had so many Premier Pass holders at the time that, all right, it's busy. I mean, I'm sure they have the raw numbers with X amount of tickets and X amount of pass holders. I'm sure that's a number they can pull up. But it'd be interesting to see, I'm sure there will be bloggers and reporters and stuff there during that time and be like, oh, well, Disneyland's a ghost town the last 2 weeks of the year because there's no annual pass holders here anymore. Or Magic Key holders. Magic Key holders just does not flow off the tongue. I'm going to say annual pass holder till I die. So just get used to it, folks.
You might as well call yourself a legacy pass holder.
Nope, annual pass holder. I don't care. I'm never going to
legacy. Because there's people before you that have no idea what it's
I'm going to hold this annual pass.
Yeah.
I'm an annual pass holder. See, I'm holding it. That's old. For you listening, I'm holding an old annual pass. Oh, it's the gravestone of the annual pass because it makes me sad. But I'm a pass holder because I'm currently holding an annual pass. You don't even get a card anymore. Back in my day, you used to get a card when you signed up for a Magic Key.
Well, they're bringing out those bracelets that are magical, I hear. Wilbur.
They're magical plus.
Yeah. Anyway, this could be. Look, time I get on this subject, I turn into rant mode, so I gotta stop.
Well, here's the thing. I know I actually had a conversation with somebody about this because they listened to the last episode and they said, you were complaining a lot about the Magic Keys. I said, I'm not complaining. And I know it comes off like that because for the most part, we're like pretty upbeat. We're like happy-go-lucky all the time, and we try to be as positive as possible on the podcast. But this affects us, right? As guests, as people that are paying out of pocket for this experience. And the only reason it sounds like we're complaining is because we love Disneyland. We love the park, and we want to get back to the experiences that we had before. And Disney is just in a phase where they're still trying to figure things out. And I know that in most people's cases, they're like, nope, they figured it out. They just want our money. They're still trying to figure a lot of this stuff out. And sadly, we're just the guinea pigs while they figure this out, right? So in the meantime, like Andrew said, I don't know what it's going to be like in March when I finally get an opportunity to, upgrade, if I have an opportunity to upgrade, because plans and terms subject to change, obviously. And if they run out of magic keys and there aren't any available, I won't have anything to upgrade into, so it's going to be interesting once we get to that. And I mean, I just want a great Disney experience. I just want to be able to go with my family, hang out with my friends, and, go watch a parade or two, watch a fireworks show, watch the Christmas parade, eat some churros, have some chicken at Plaza Inn, get on Haunted Mansion. The real one, not Mansion Holiday, but then Mansion Holiday, because I like that one too.
Pew, pew. Shots fired.
The only other
all the
one
time.
before Halloween, but you know where I stand on that one. But again, it's not that we're complaining. It's just that we're passionate about Disneyland, and we really love the park, and we just want to feel like we're getting the park that we used to be able to enjoy before. So that's how I justified how we talked about it. But you're right, Andrew. I feel like every time that this comes up, like, we are so passionate about it that it does sound ranty, and it does kind of sound like,
I'm complaining. I don't. You can speak for yourself. I'm complaining. I'm ranting. I know it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm complaining too, but because I care.
I'm complaining.
Yeah, we're just passionate.
I just have such big feelings and memories, and yeah, I miss my friends. I miss my Indiana Jones.
Oh gosh, yes, the hydraulic smell.
You'll get there, buddy. Don't worry. You'll get there. I'm guessing that depending on what happens, I may just buy like day tickets if we're able to, because if you can make a reservation, more than likely a day ticket will still have the opportunity to reserve the day, since there's going to be a set amount allocated.
I've not heard of anybody not be able to reserve a spot for a day ticket. I haven't come across any of that news. I think that pool is basically open.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a limit, but I've not seen any reporting anywhere of anybody not being able to get in buying a day ticket. So I have a feeling that limit is a little higher than passes and things like that.
I've heard multi-day tickets, so that's one thing too.
Oh,
if they do like a hopper multi-day,
or like the
they'll get
SoCal
blocked
tickets.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, SoCal tickets are but like a single day. I mean, I just could not be seeing this. So if anybody has heard of it, let me know for sure, because I'd like to hear about like what these ticket days are going, and was it back when first things first started opening? Have they figured out more stuff now since keys have kind of sorted them? People are understanding the keys more a little bit. Who knows? But it's let me know if you've heard of anybody getting not being able to purchase a day ticket. I guess I can go on the website and see right now.
Join us over on Discord if you haven't yet, and join the conversation if you have that information. I would like to know as well, because if I can't renew my pass, that might be what I default to in order to go. It would be more expensive, obviously, if I only went, like, let's say once a month, right? Averaging 160 per day, then we're looking at like what, $1,900, almost $2,000 if I went once every month. That's just for one person, though.
Yeah.
Given that when we had the annual pass, we went about once or twice a month, it is a little bit more expensive. So it would have to be one of those things where like you went rope drop and closed out the park situations to make sure you got the most out of your $100 and whatever dollars. But we'll see when we get there. March is a long time away, and, things might change between now and then. So we'll see how things go. All right, before we continue, I do want to remind you that this episode of Podketeers is brought to you by a fantastic group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, and it is their support via Patreon that help make these episodes possible. If you want more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, head on over to podketeers.com/FGP for more info. There you will find a list of some of our top contributors, link to our Patreon, a little bit about what the FGP Squad is, and of course, if you have any additional questions, you can always hit us up on Instagram or over on Discord. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Being a part of the FGP Squad gets you some additional perks, like additional content, like the Podketeers After Show, additional episodes that we've recorded, access to our happy hour calls, random giveaways, and stuff. So if, again, any questions, please feel free to hit us up. And, of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. Hey, I do want to remind you, I lagged on this so bad, and I feel so bad because we talked about the chalk walk. I said I was going to set it up, and I totally set up the page, and I just forgot to post it. So we have a chalk walk page, chalkwalk.org/teamboatwilly. We're approximately a week away from the chalk walk as of this episode, but that's okay. What we've done is we've set a super low goal. We've set like $250, so it's super low. Fundraising will continue past the day of the chalk walk because it's not a traditional chalk walk this year the way that it has been in other years where you get together, you walk through the parks, and you have a good time and get all sweaty super early in the morning. This year, they're doing, because it's an anniversary year, if you raise, well, it was $250, now it's if you raise $200, you had the opportunity to be a guest at this party that they're doing at California Adventure. It's kind of like one of the special events that you were talking about, Larry, like the Halloween and stuff, where you pay money, you go for, from 5 to 9 or 5 to midnight, whatever. It's very similar what they're doing this year for the chalk walk. I think it's too late to actually attend it. You had to register or raise the $250 or $200 by a specific date. But
it was the day of this recording. I'm on the website.
Oh, was it? Well,
yes.
Surprise!
Either way,
it's passed by your hearing this.
Okay. So either way, we still want to raise some money. I do care about chalk, and I do want to, help them out. We have our page up, chalkwalk.org/teamboatwilly. I'll put it in the blog post for the episode. I'll put it up on Instagram in the stories. I'll put it up on Discord. And if you're able to help us out with a few bucks, I'm sure that it will help chalk in any way. I know we've talked about how every dollar counts, and being part of fundraising teams, I can tell you that it definitely does. So I still think we can do an auction or two next week. I'm going to need some help planning that out, so we'll talk about that off the podcast. But I still think we have the opportunity to do one or two auctions to get some stuff up there. And then also, we still have a handful of the Teamboat Willie pins that we released last year when we did Walk for Hope. I don't know how many we still have left, but I know we sold them for $20 last year. There was one day that we sold the pins, and instead of donating $5 per pin, every pin sold on that day, we donated $15 per pin. I'll set something up like that, and we'll do the same this year. For the remainder of the pins that we have, whatever we sell on that day, we'll donate $15 per pin. So that's going to be coming up. If you missed out on the Teamboat Willie pins last year, now would be a great time to get it, because not only are you getting one of 100 pins that we made, we're not going to make this design ever again. And by design, I mean this one we had gold-plated. It's got the Teamboat Willie logo, but it's gold-plated. When we repress this pin, or when we make more of this pin, it's not going to be gold-plated. It's going to be silver-plated. So to get one of the original 100 that had the gold plating, this is your opportunity. Plus, you're going to be helping out a great organization in the process. So more information on that is going to be coming up. As I am talking, I am actually adding a reminder to my phone so that I don't forget to do this. And more info on that is coming. So $250. I know that we could do it. We got 2 or 3 weeks, I believe, to fundraise after the chalk walk. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to send us a message. I'll be happy to help you out with any questions that you might have. chalkwalk.org/TeamboatWillie, or you can just go to podketeers.com/428, and you'll see the link there to our Teamboat Willie page. Let's see. Oh, hey, quick shout out, by the way, to Marin over on Instagram. She sent us a message about, we've been talking a lot about the merch that we've been ogling, and Andrew's been buying out completely. Like, entire stores of Spirit Halloween have been sold out by Andrew. For Haunted Mansion merch.
They're all closed now. No, I bought everything. They're all closed. You have to come to my house.
Wow.
You have to come to my house. I have the signs and the racks and everything. If you want to, if you want to, like the Scooby-Doo costume or like a bunch of cotton cobwebs.
Sexy Scooby-Doo or just Scooby-Doo?
I bought both. You got all kinds of options. You've got all the options over at Spirit Halloween Casa de Fific.
Nice. So if you've been on the lookout for Haunted Mansion merch, Spirit Halloween is obviously the place to be. # not sponsored, but they do have a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. They have a lot of Sanderson Sisters stuff this year for Hocus Pocus. And
some cool stuff for them,
yeah. And Marin pointed out that over at Hallmark, they have a lot of really great Haunted Mansion and Nightmare Before Christmas stuff as well. There was a couple of ornaments that I saw there that I ended up picking up. So,
nice.
Yeah, we posted it over on Discord, but if you're looking for more Mansion merch, make sure that you check out Hallmark. So, quick shout out and thank you to Marin for sending us that link.
Yeah.
Shout out on Discord to Heather. On the Disney food one.
Oh, the Disney food. What did she post?
Yeah, she posted something on August 26th. They're coming out at the Tiki. They're going to have a special Monstro Well Tiki Cup.
Yeah, the
so
Monstro
another shout out.
right?
If you join our Discord, you can check that out.
Monstro mug.
Yeah.
That's it. It's really cool.
Tiki mug.
That's a big blowhole for your cup.
Oh.
I'm not wrong. That's the technical term for it. I'm not wrong.
I was into the design.
I really like the design. Like, even if you don't use it as a mug, it's a really nice, just like decorative piece.
Yeah, it's just like a statue.
Yeah, I'm into it. I like it.
Me too.
How much was it?
Thanks, Heather.
Oh, and they're doing it the same way they do all their mugs. It's 1 day only.
That's
mobile
right.
order. Blah de blah de blah.
Thanks for reminding.
At 6 o'clock in the morning.
6 o'clock in the morning, folks.
No.
$50 for each one.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Considering the prices of some of the other mugs, that's pretty decent price for what it is.
I mean, you don't get a drink with it, but still, it's still not bad for tiki mugs in general. I mean, that's like an average tiki mug price.
There's people collect for sure.
Yeah.
I like
I'm
it.
just surprised it's not more.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
same.
worry. Once it hits eBay 3 hours later, it will be.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hey.
$6.99.
secondary market.
Hashtag
In hand, Monstro
in hand,
mug.
Exactly.
Right.
It's a picture on a garbage can outside.
For
the Disneyland
available.
Hotel.
All right. So, couple things. One, movie-wise, it looks like we're getting a possible Big Thunder Mountain movie from the directors of Hawkeye, Bert and Birdie. I like this because we might finally get a little bit more SEA into our lives in the form of a Big Thunder movie.
And cowboys.
Yeah.
And
Goats.
trains.
Yes, but SEA.
But trains.
Yes, of course.
Yes, but trains. Yes. I love
But
me some trains. But also SEA.
Oh, there is a
I like
possibility
trains.
that they could. Oh, I'm just thinking
If
Rainbow Caverns, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
I
it's
didn't
shot
think
anything
about
like-
that.
I know. I just thought of it right
Oh.
now. I'm like, whoa, it's an opportunity. So, hey,
All
Here
right.
we are in the little town of Rainbow Ridge.
right?
I love it. I just hope that this doesn't turn out to be one of those, like, well, Guillermo del Toro said 8 years ago that he was making the movie. And that, like, 9 years from now, we're like, All right, so we're finally getting a Big Thunder Mountain movie, guys. I hope
Directed
this
by
thing...
Chris Columbus, and it's or something like something completely different.
Yeah. I mean, I hope this happens. Honestly, I don't even care if this is direct to Disney Plus. I just want this. If it does turn out to be direct to Disney Plus, this could honestly be the beginning of building out the world of the SEA. I know that when we did the handful of episodes outlining the SEA, we talked about the possibility of them doing a series or doing something for Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Look, this is the perfect opportunity. And considering that the lore and the stories, the worlds, and the time frame that the SEA spans is, decades and decades worth, I mean, that's movies upon movies, if not series upon series that you can have for Disney Plus. And I'm for it. I am 127.2894% for this.
Very accurate.
You
think
took
they
the words out of my mouth.
you think they can have a little Tony Baxter cameo in there?
The stash.
Pharmacy bullion. No,
I would
yeah,
like
just
that.
like he has a little role. He's sitting behind a desk or something, counting some gold, weighing some gold. It just the camera pans across him or something.
Interacts with Joe Rohde. A Joe Rohde cameo?
Wrong movie. That's the Tower Terror movie. That's a different movie.
No, because that's
Oh,
how
no,
the
you're talking
crossovers
about
happen.
Yeah, okay.
If
That's
not,
how you
I'll
set
settle
up
for
the
like pictures in the
crossovers.
background or something. I mean, there's
No, we need actual Tony
Okay.
Baxter. Let's start a petition. Change.org petition right now. That's how things get done.
That's how
Change.org.
things get ignored by Disney. Change.org petitions.
Tony Baxter must be in Big Thunder Mountain movie for at least 4 seconds.
All right. So knowing a little bit about the SEA, if you could choose...
Hold on, I'm making it right now.
Okay. If you could choose one story or one character that you wanted to make a series for Disney Plus for, which character or which story would it be?
That's a hard question.
That's a hard one.
All right. I'll tell you what. Let's put a
Uh,
pin in that one.
Okay.
And the next time we're all together, we will talk about this subject again. That'll give all of us
sure.
an adequate amount of time to think of a story and what we would do on the adventure, and then we could just pitch the story. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
That'd be
Can
fun.
Can it be people that I want to be part of this group as opposed to the people that are officially in this group?
Yes. Because this is
Because
a Disney
Heyzen
Plus
and I
series
have-
you are
yeah.
creating. So yes.
Okay, great. All right. Because I said the group because Heyzen and I have different ways of pronouncing. I always say C in my head. It's C because it's an acronym, so I say C, and Heyzen says the SEA, and it's okay.
SEA.
It's both. It can be whatever you do.
Tomato,
and
tomato.
So, tomato, potato. Exactly. It's all right.
Exactly.
It's whatever. But yeah, that by Shrunken Ned or Sala or something, whatever, they should be in there. But anyway, that'll be for another episode.
Possibilities are endless. So we're putting a pin in that one. That's going to be a subject in an
Rabbit.
upcoming episode. So look forward to that soon. Hey, Mel, you mentioned this TV show that you were watching that had some Disney references in it. Since we're talking about movies and TV shows, we're going to be talking about She-Hulk in just a moment. What's the show you were talking about?
I was talking about the Orville, and this one, it's pretty cool. It's a sci-fi / comedy / action kind of show. I've heard about it, but I didn't really start watching until like maybe a month ago or so. And at first, it had like really strong Star Trek, influence or other like shows that any sci-fi show that you could think of, it had like, an influence in it. And I figured, hey, we have some listeners who, watch Star Trek. They might want to see it if they've, heard about it or something, kind of give it a boost. And it's produced by Seth MacFarlane. Its comedy is not too bad, but not for kids. We got to say that because, not for kids. But it's actually pretty cool and it's pretty fun. The first 2 seasons were by Fox. And then now the third one is actually on Hulu, which makes it Disney related. However, in season 3 that just dropped and just started in June, I want to say in June. We're just like maybe 3 episodes in. I'm not going to say anything about them. They get funnier, they get better, but then you start hearing the Disney influences, and everyone, I'm like, that sounds like this, that sounds like that. And then they have like their little quips and whatnot. But there's one episode that I hope everyone gets to see in the third season, or the newest season, that brought back like a love for a certain sci-fi movie that some of us really love, and they don't have in Tomorrowland. So I'm just gonna say that.
Batteries not included.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mac and cheese.
Short circuit.
All of that. Yeah. That's it. But the reason I'm surprised that I'm not hearing about it. But since it just got onto, it's actually on Disney Plus too. I didn't even know that. I've been watching it on Hulu. And I really think people should just watch it. It's pretty cool. And if you're like into sci-fi adventures and you're a fan of like everything sci-fi under the umbrella, I mean, I think everybody would have fun with it. And so far it's been fun. So it's easy to binge through. So just slow down if you have to, but it's a lot of fun. And I'm like, I want to talk about this because, again, we have listeners who watch sci-fi things and shows and movies. So it's something cool. And Disney.
It's on Disney Plus. We get to talk about it. That's, you know what? I mean, this is a free-form podcast. We can do whatever we want. We got no rules. We got no sponsors, so they can't tell us what to do.
That's right.
Yeah, suckers. But hey, you want to sponsor Podketeers?
Yeah, we're available if you guys want to sponsor us.
We're open.
Yeah. All right, Arby's, come on.
They've got the meats.
But yeah, the Orville. I watched Orville as when it first came out on Fox, and it originally it was billed as like, all right, here it is. It's like the Star Trek, but it's funny.
Yeah.
The Star Trek. I said it like an old man.
You did.
It's like it's like Star Trek, but it's funny. Like, okay, there's gonna be lots of jokes. Seth MacFarlane, okay, he's the Family Guy and all these things, and all right, it's gonna be funny. And like, okay, it was funny. Like, first episode was kind of slapsticky. Second episode a little bit less, and then it just kind of became Star Trek, like with like a few jokes. But Star Trek had some jokes too.
Yeah.
So it's basically different Star Trek now with a little more lighthearted. But there's a lot of action, a lot of drama, a lot of stakes in the show. Romance. I mean, it's got everything in the show. There's a lady loves a robot. There's all kinds of stuff. Norm Macdonald is a voice of a blob man. There's like a cool Klingon guy, but he's not a Klingon.
Yeah.
He's something else named Bortus. It's a good show. It's fun. Yeah, I recommend watching the Orville. I'm about 3 episodes in on the 3rd season. We haven't had time to catch up on it because we've been watching everything else we haven't watched yet. So we got a backlog of too many medical shows that we decided to watch. So maybe after we're done with The Resident, we'll watch some more of the Orville.
Nice.
Yeah, I do like the Orville. So I'm happy that it's kind of in the Disney Plus Hulu family. Easy to watch, easy to just get hooked on. It's a fun little show.
Yeah. And then with each, and now that you can see like the brain fart. The effects. There we go. Thank you. Perfect timing. The effects got better. Like everything just got better, and it just gets. If you see like the first episode, it's gonna be like, oh, it looks a little rough. It gets better. It looks prettier.
It's okay. That's how I felt about Doctor Who. The older episodes
right.
have really hokey effects, but then as they progressed, They just got better and better when they got more funding.
Wait, Doctor Who?
Yeah, exactly.
The Doctor Who series.
Yeah.
Doctor what?
Larry, have you
Oh,
watched
boy.
the Orville, or am I the only one that's never seen
No,
it?
you know what's sad? I follow Seth MacFarlane, and I'm so new about this show when it released because there's also an actor that was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that I don't know.
She's yeah.
So this show was on my radar and in my Hulu queue now since season 1 because Seth MacFarlane's also behind bringing back The Cosmos with Neil Tyson Degrassi, which is also one of the seasons is on Disney Plus, and I would say check that out if you like sci-fi and really zoning out into what space and like everything in becoming that. That's Seth MacFarlane again, and then obviously you got Family Guy, and then if you've ever watched American Dad, another Seth MacFarlane show, he shows his affinity for Star Trek because the main character is actually Patrick Stewart, is like the boss of the dad. So like this was like one of his segues when he got to this to being like, I could use this project, and I always had it in my queue, and now it finally ended up on Disney Plus on the Disney Plus platform. I was like, oh, I have to watch this show. I just always been putting it on the back burner because it's funny what Andrew brings up. Like all of a sudden something else popped up. Oh, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
And then Hulu at the time, I've always had the commercial version. So now that it's in the Disney Plus realm, like I gotta binge it now. I gotta get into this. I hear nothing but good things, and I like Seth MacFarlane for sure.
He was gonna do a Flintstones reboot at one point too that got canceled. He's got so many shows in the hopper, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
He's made Fox so much money with Family Guy, they just let him do whatever he wants.
It's true. It's true.
That's awesome. Well, I guess I have something to watch. Is it something that I have to pay attention to, or can I let it play in the background while I'm working on stuff?
Oh, no. You could let it play in the background.
It's just like
Yeah.
it's just that. There's a
Is
whole
it kind
episode.
of like Space the Office?
Little bit. I
Oh,
mean, it's a
yeah.
little more
Kinda.
actiony. Like there are definitely like as the show progresses through the season, it does get a little more towards the dramatic and towards the more Star Trek-y as opposed to more office-y, which I think that's probably kind of where they were going for in the beginning. It does definitely get more serious in the as you progress through the series. So I don't think you have to pay super attention, but it might be you might lose some stuff because there are some interesting connecting storylines that happen through the seasons.
The terminology that they use, though, is very easy to listen. So
Yeah.
that's the
okay.
key. Is it's not
All right.
like
No midi-chlorians.
No, it's
Jedi.
no the wills.
No.
That's what I was
Chewbacca
concerned
talk.
with.
No.
that there was going to be so much that I was going to have to learn that I wasn't going to be
Oh,
able
no.
to enjoy it unless I like paid attention to it.
It's
Nah.
mostly like Navy speak, like if you know the bridge and the
Yeah.
Star Trek stuff. It's all that kind of stuff. Set blasters to this, and it's all the standard terminology you know.
I might be the only person on the podcast right now that's never seen Star Trek.
that's
I've-
okay. I was
I've
there
watched
too.
one Star Trek movie ever, so I'm not far behind
I don't
you.
think I've ever watched the full Star Trek movie either. And I
I
don't want
watched
this.
the new one
Okay,
that's
and
what I've
the
seen.
one with Chris Pine or whatever.
with Chris
one
Pine.
of the Chris's
Yeah, I
from
saw
Hollywood?
I saw the first one of those, and that's the only Star Trek I've seen.
Okay, that's the one I started watching. And I don't want this to turn into a whole like Star Trek versus Star Wars thing or anything. No, it's never really been on my radar before. I know a lot of people, like I have a lot of friends in my circle that watch Star Trek and they totally love it. And I probably made a reference about it in the past, and because I've never seen it, my friends were like, you've never actually seen it. How dare you? That's fair. I can't criticize something if I haven't watched it. So at some point, I do want to watch it, just to give it a chance. But as of right now, never seen Star Trek. But the Orville, I'm going to give that a shot. Now that it's on Disney
Yeah.
Plus, I'm definitely going to put that on my to-watch list. I'll report back next week. I'll watch a couple of episodes, and then I'll report back to see what I feel about it.
Cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a fun show.
Yeah.
Right on.
You'll like it.
Speaking of Disney Plus and shows that are currently happening, She-Hulk Episode 1 has officially launched. The day that this episode
Sure
releases,
did.
we will have Episode 2 of She-Hulk.
will.
Initial thoughts on the show and what we're getting out of She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
so
I
much
think Melissa
fun.
needs to take this. Yeah.
I know. I was like, can we talk? Can we talk? No, this is the unexpected surprise that I was going to be like so happy about. And I did not know anything about Jen or She-Hulk or nothing. But oh my gosh, she's fun. The whole show is fun. And I get her rage. In the show, there's parts where she gets upset and it's like, yes, that's when I kind of want to lash out too. And the way that she just like hulks out and screams or actually like yells, it's like, dang, I want to do that too. I bet that would feel good afterwards. But yeah, no, it's a fun show. There's a lot of laughs. There's a lot of similarities to Deadpool as well. I think.
She-Hulk is Deadpool.
Yeah.
It was a fun show. Yeah, I was gonna bring up the Deadpool thing. She's talking to the camera, talking to the audience, like, "Well, this is what the." Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, the first episode is an interesting trip. It's kind of like the full setup, and gives you the origin story episode, and then I believe, from what I'm assuming, the rest of the series is going to take place more. She says it. She's like, this is a law show.
Yeah.
This is Law and Order, but with a superhero, like with the Hulk. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. I enjoyed, the whole episode. It was, getting the Mark Ruffalo in there too. I think the origin, how she got the gamma blood on her is a little different in like the comics, if I'm not mistaken, but that she gets it either way. Bruce has like I don't know, tiki bar, and it's funny. And yeah, it's a fun show, and you get to see Hulk's power clap or whatever the heck that is, and them jumping around and falling off of cliffs, and it's just a good fun time. Like it's just silly fun, and it's I'm excited to see where this goes and how much this is going to turn into a legal drama, if that's the case. Like if this is just going to be Ice-T shows up and talks about all kinds of stuff, and then they get the DA involved, and they say, like, this man is out of order. I call contempt to the witness, and badgering the witness.
Benson Stabler show up.
Exactly. So that's what I'm waiting for. I need some objections, pandering to the whatever, and
The
objection
witness.
this, and yeah, exactly. So I hope some of that's in there, because all those loft shows like Law and Order are funny because they're so predictable. I love watching those, and anytime somebody says something, I try to say objection before they're gonna say objection, because they're gonna say it.
Oh yeah.
But that's my fun game. But yeah, She-Hulk, that's what we're talking about. Good show.
For me watching it, it's exactly what both of you guys say. There's a lot of comedy that comes into it that I didn't necessarily. I knew by seeing one of the like posters or cameos where they showed like Mark Ruffalo all interesting looking, like all cladded up, and her looking all like with shadows and a 1980s 70s vibe picture. I don't know if you guys remember that poster. I thought, well, there's going to be some comedy and satire in here for sure. And it starts off just really quick. And I think I'm a little bit, here's the three things I'm going through. I was trying to keep it in the Marvel universe of other series we've had. There's always been like, you have to keep up with it because there's things that will be explained later that will bring that like overlaying Marvel story, I feel like. And I think I'm a little bit suspicious because what I'm watching in it, it's funny, laid out so good in the comedy and how she's going through her origin story, like Andrew mentioned, and then the Deadpool referencing like the fourth wall, breaking it, right? When I remember the fourth wall thing, what freaks me out about it watching is like that's how WandaVision kind of started, and then there's like things you realize that they weren't real or they were fake or whatnot, like. I don't know how much that spills over here. When I watch this, I got like Saved by the Bell / 1970s crime show. That's what I felt like when I watched it. The dynamic, and yeah, Jenny does a really good job of playing her character, and I love the Captain America references. I'm a hardcore Cap fan, so good, and it brings a layer behind Tony Stark, which in the comics we've always talked about. Heyzen. Sorry, you've mentioned. He was a heavy drinker in the comics, and you kind of got a little bit behind that with this, and Bruce referencing back to what was in the times before that and looking into his bar. Like, those were cool comic book references I liked, but it was, there's so many good things from it that I love that I'm like, okay, I'm ready, but I'm very suspicious about how this is playing out right now. Like, I feel like there's something more to be unveiled, especially her blackouts and then coming back all of a sudden. She has control in what we're seeing. I don't want to spoil too much, but she has these blackouts like Hulk, but different. And I feel like there's something to that a little bit.
Yeah.
Objection, argumentative.
Leading the witness.
Calls for speculation.
I'm loving this show so far. There was some controversy, obviously, because of course, there's got
objection,
to be.
hearsay.
Hearsay.
But really, I think a lot of the controversy came from the fact that she was really open about having to control her emotions in certain situations. So, one, if you haven't watched the episode, you might want to pause here for a little bit, watch the episode, and then come back, because I'm going to get a little spoilery as we talk about the rest of episode 1. But, she was talking to Bruce about, controlling the Hulk, and Bruce was in this really weird state of, wait a second, you're still you, right? You don't have like this alter ego. Like, wait, how are you doing this? Like, Bruce was totally confused. And so he thought that he was going to have to teach her, how to control this like Hulk inside of her and everything. And she's got like 100% control. And there was a point in the show where she started saying, I have to control myself, and I have to keep this demeanor of I'm always composed, when I'm being catcalled, when I'm being told, how to feel or what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to act in the courtroom. And I thought, like, that is, I think, something that like a lot of women face, and it's something that's come to light a lot over the last several years. And the fact that it was brought up, I think, angered some people, because they thought, now you're making like the show this and this, and how dare you politicize. And it's not really politicizing the show. It's literally something that everybody goes through. And one thing that Marvel's been really good at in all of the shows that have been coming out on Disney Plus is talking about issues that people in different segments of the world face. Regardless of where you live, regardless of, where your family comes from, or the language that you speak, or what your traditions are. Like, every show so far that Disney Plus has put out has done a really great job of bringing those issues to light and helping people understand, or at least you hope that it's helping people understand what, these characters are going through. Jennifer saying that to Bruce was doing the exact same thing. It was bringing to light things that we've talked about in the past, and, these problems that women face on a daily basis. And I thought it was good to bring it up the way that they did, because like even Bruce had this moment of like, oh damn, like I don't go through that, right? And you hope that people watching go through the same thing, instead of just like, how dare they, how dare Marvel, blah blah blah. It's like, no, like there's a reason they're doing this, right? Like, we may have this hammered into us, but I heard somebody on TikTok say this the other day, and I agree with what she said, and it's that, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember exactly what she said, but she said, we as adults hear this all the time, and especially with all the issues that we hear, the news articles and everything, right? But the children that are watching this, that are 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, they've never really heard anything like this, and they're watching these shows for the first time, so it's their first time being exposed to this. So if it felt like it was really direct and it was in a way that seemed maybe tongue-in-cheek to us or maybe seemed comical to us, maybe didn't seem comical to other viewers that have never been exposed to something like this but need to know what goes on in the world, right? So obviously there's going to be a lot more of this as the show progresses. You know, Jennifer is a very strong character from what we've seen so far. You know, I love that she stands up for herself regardless of who she's going up against. And you know, the Hulk persona is just going to bring a whole, like another element to her character that, you know, is going to, I think the conversation is going to revolve a lot around how, when she's angry, people see her, or maybe even women, a certain way, that they might start seeing them as like, oh, you're being over erratic, you're being over emotional, you're being this, you're being that. But this show, I think, hopefully begins to show that it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with how we see things, you know, as a society sometimes. And I hope I'm making sense right now. It's like, it was super comical. Like, it was super comical, but it was such a deep episode. Like, at its core, there was so many messages that I think were done in such a way that if you missed it, like, watch it again. Like, you'll start to hear these messages throughout the show. I'm sure we're going to get more of them. But yeah, everything else that you guys talked about, absolutely on board. That Deadpool reference, Mel, 100%. It's so funny to me, though, that when she does it, like, there's a point where they're on the island, and she turns around, and she's all like, he doesn't mean that. And then she catches herself. She's like, what the hell did I just do? Right? And then Bruce turns around, and he's kind of like, wait, what did you just do? Or what did you just say? And they're both confused about her breaking the fourth wall like that. So it's almost like they're kind of getting used to having to break the fourth wall.
That's where I'm
Like,
suspicious.
it's so weird. Like, it's so weird. I love it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to more of that. Overall, I enjoyed this first episode. I think this is going to be another great show. As far as all the special effects, all the visual effects that people were criticizing, I mean, look, they're visual effects, right? I mean, we can get down and we could start criticizing the visual effects, but I think there's a lot that goes into play when stuff like this is put together, right? Time frames are big, especially if they're trying to release X amount of episodes by a certain date, and if there's any reshoots and if there's any re-renders. Like, re-rendering animated Hulks is not a one-day process. And if you're on a deadline, you're going to have to do as best you can to get edits done or to get episodes released. So I think for what we're getting, I think the VFX artists did an amazing job. And you have to, I hate to say it, but you know you're watching a Marvel thing, right? Like, suspend your disbelief. Like, we don't have Hulks in the world for real. So
Wait a minute. You're telling me that there are no Hulk lawyers in the world?
No, unless we check
Objection.
out one of those racks you have from Spirit Halloween. No.
Slandering.
Hearsay. Badgering the witness.
Did you say flandering? Like Flanders?
Slandering.
Oakley dokley.
Sounded like Flanders.
Flandersing.
Oakley focally do. Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, She-Hulk, looking forward to the series. If you have any thoughts that you have on She-Hulk, we'd love to hear them. Head on over to our Discord if you haven't joined yet. Super easy to join us. You can either go to the blog post for this episode, podketeers.com/428, click on the Discord logo, or you can also head over to our Instagram account. We have a pinned IG story with our Discord link. And just you're a couple of clicks away from joining the community and joining the conversation. And yeah. All right. Anything else that we want to talk about before we wrap up today's episode? This is one of the longer ones that Andrew loves.
Yeah. I love long episodes. There'll be a new Quizneyland in theory this week.
Woohoo!
No idea what it's going to be about. Have not written a single word down. But you know what? There will be an episode. I promise. There will be stuff. There will be stuff, and it'll be fun, and you'll learn something too.
Quiznyland.
There'll be stuff. That should be the theme song now. Just like there will be, there'll be stuff. That's the theme song.
QUIZNEY. Because it's Quiznyland.
Why?
That's why.
He's
That's
trying
it.
to.
That's the song.
MOUSE Quiznyland Mouse.
PODCAST.
That works.
I got
There we go.
Quiznyland. All right. That's
Donald
it.
Duck.
That's it. We're reaching the point where I think we're
Okay.
all about to turn into pumpkins because of how late it is. So that's it. Time to wrap up the episode. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for listening. Yeah, baby. I said that wrong. That was
Objection.
horrible. Come on.
Flandersing.
Oakley dokley doo.
That's good.
Part of the Podketeers Network.